Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner, and it is that time of the week again where we take a look over at some tournament results and I give my thoughts on it. This should be rather quick as there are only two tournaments, three if you count day 2 of Atlanta, and there really isn't much for me to talk about, so let's dive right into this. So Japan had one tournament, which was the second Hokkaido VGCS, standard format, 64 people. Bit of a note on this one is I've never really talked about how VGCSs are usually done, but from what I've been told, their Swiss rounds are best of 1, but their top cut is best of 3. However, this tournament was an exception where I believe every round in Swiss was a best of 3 in addition to the top cut. So, all it really just says is that non-official events are usually the better ones to get a gauge of how things are going, because they do best of 3. ARG is another example of this. It also kind of kills the whole theory that, oh, if we made it best of 3 format, Oracle Think Tank wouldn't be nearly as good. No. As we've seen from these tournament results, Oracle Think Tank is also pretty good in the VGCS tournaments, and that's a best of 3 top cut. So, hush. So that being said, what's interesting about this one? Well, OTT got 4th, 3rd was Tachikaze, 2nd was Pale Moon, and 1st place was Royal Paladin, post the release of the mini booster. So this is a potential Extrapolate the Blaster deck that managed to get a top, and it only played 1. Yeah, not only that, but it played none of the other cards from the mini booster other than the foil triggers. So, oh wait, no, it played the new Richard, I think? Or is that a promo card? In any case, yeah, this guy ran Extrapolate at 1. He cut a Soul Saver Dragon. Wow, Thing Saver. Yeah, he cut a Soul Saver for the Extrapolate and did nothing else for his deck. On one hand, you may be thinking, what the hell is with this list? But on the other hand, I'm thinking too, Extrapolate and Novelva Extension aren't really the most fantastic of cards to begin with, so why would you really go out of your way to build a deck around a card that's not the greatest? Yeah, you can use Extrapolate to close out games, but on the other hand too, if you ride Extrapolate and you fail to win on that turn, you're going to be sitting on Blaster Blade, and your opponent has the potential to just kill you. So this one-of, I almost want to treat it as the same theory as Violence Flonger and Granblue, in that you're running it because it's a good way to close out games. However, if you go into it too early, or if you go into it and fail to win the game on that turn, you're pretty much hosed, because you're losing 2 cards out of hand and riding down to a 10k base in the current format. Yeah, I can see why this guy didn't really prioritize Extrapolate as a major card of his deck. It was just something nice to have. If he saw it was only a one-of, he wasn't going to potentially brick himself by drawing too many of these things. Makes perfect sense. Then the second place Pale Moon list. So this guy ran 8 draws, no crits, and 4 fronts alongside his 4 heals. But this is a Pale Moon deck that managed to get 2nd place in a best of 3 tournament, so I do feel like this list is worth taking some inspiration from, and I've been kind of toying with the idea of picking up Pale Moon from this set. I'm really intrigued on what I can do with the deck in Premium, but here's a potentially decent standard build. And the thing about Axel is, yes, Axel is the worst gift of the 3 so far, but if you've also noticed, Bushi's been getting better in designing Axel decks with each subsequent release, so there's a very good chance that Great Nature might actually be the first traditional Axel deck, the kind that does multi-attacks, maybe, who knows. Great Nature or Narukami might be the 2 XL clans that they make that don't suck. I know what you're going to say, but what about Murakumo? Murakumo is an interesting spot. On one hand, I can't argue with the fact that the deck is able to top, but on the other hand, though, I still feel like the deck is also not as good as people think it is. It's a very high tier 2, but it's definitely not like the OTT killer that we envisioned it to be. OTT is still doing strong in spite of Murakumo's presence in the format. And yeah, I think there were how many were at this tournament? We had 2 Murakumo, couldn't get in there. 2 Tachikaze, 1 got in there. 5 Pale Moon, 1 got in there. 7 on RP, 16 Oracle Think Tank, 15 Shadow Paladin, 10 Kagero. Yeah. This is pre-promos though, so Mega Colony is not as good as it could be. And then speaking of Tachis, here's the one that got in there. Looks pretty standard. And then finally, Oracle Think Tank, our 4th place list. This is also pretty standard. The only real difference between this and some of the other lists is that he's running a 2-2 split of Bird and the 16 booster. So that's the spice coming out of Japan. Pale Moon players, here's something to work off of. And yeah, if I were to build Pales, I'd probably be looking towards this list as inspiration. Moving on to the other notable tournament of the past weekend, BCS Atlanta happened. And well, anyone who follows North America Vanguard knows that BC Atlanta usually has some kind of shenanigans going down in regards to how the event is ran, either be the organizers or the judging. And from what I heard, some kind of stupidity happened again at this one, but I'm not going to go into it because I don't know all the details. However, I do have the top cut results of both Block A and Block B for Standard, and look at all this Oracle Think Tank. DP1 Block A, mind you, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Oracle Think Tank out of 8 in Block A's top cut, and Block B. 1st, 2nd, 3rd OTT. 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th OTT. So 7 out of 8 Oracle Think Tank in the top cut of Block B, Kagro being the exception. Of course, this might not be 100% accurate, and if anyone is able to correct me on this, please let me know down below and I will go back and fix this. Because otherwise though, what the hell? This isn't good! Like, I've had people say, this isn't like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's totally fine, or Oracle Think Tank was shit in G, it's totally fine, they deserve this. No! This is not okay. Like, this is a level of dominance of a deck that we have not seen since Time Leap and Vanguard. In fact, I'd almost want to say that Oracle Think Tank is on its way to surpassing Time Leap and Vanguard, because this has been the best deck in format since Q4 dropped, which was in May for Japan, June for us. So, what is it? For Japan, it's May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months, and this is still the best deck, and it's going to be 7 when we have the Ultra Rare booster come out, and also do nothing for the format, because, spoiler alert, Neo Nectar, Gold Paladin, and Angel Feather, I don't believe any of those clans are going to be able to knock OTT off its perch, so OTT is going to be the best deck in format, going on to potentially 7 months, and now we have to pin our hopes on Gear Chronicle or Great Nature to be able to slay the beast, but, like, yeah, this is dumb. Like, if Oracle Think Tank goes unchecked until the Miyagi booster, then we're going to be seeing a level of dominance not seen since Full Power Dote, and quite possibly even Original Descendant for Japan. Like, it's ridiculous just how utterly dominant OTT is in Standard, and I've had people say that they don't want to play this format because it's so stale and degenerate because of, well, how it is. OTT is sucking the fun out of it. The fact that triggers and variants as a whole is so swingy, and that there's very little like counterplay or major thinking in the format is just making people go either to premium or pick up other card games. Like, I've had people say that they would much rather play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now than Standard Vanguard. They play Magic or Super or Pokemon. Like, Bushiroad needs to do something. Admittedly, I understand the theory that they aren't going to touch the deck until after Worlds and until the new stuff comes up, because if they hit OTT too hard, it's going to do nothing, but this can't keep going on. Like, as I said in this post, this is not okay. There is a clear problem with this clan, and people need to wake up about it. Like, there are people who are saying fuck OTT, but there are also people who are just throwing their heads down in the sand and going, la la la, this is not a problem, you're overblowing things. But, like, we look at the results out of Japan, we look at the results of North America, this deck is crushing it. It's like, what, 60% of top cut? And I'm like, we don't have actual deck lists, but I'm pretty certain that the OTT lists that are topping here are almost the same as this, barring 1 or 2 differences. Are they playing 3 Deer or 2? Are they playing 3 Tort or 2? What are their grade 1s? Again, this is dumb. And meanwhile, in the much more open and arguably skillful, I would say so, premium format, we had the premium singles. First place was won by Anji. Second place was Ichitom OTT, the rare time where Ichitom is able to do something. Third place is unknown, but fourth place is apparently Anji because it was piloted by a Jolt. I forget his full name, but he's like a really, like, if you read like the top cuts of like the recent BCSs, Jolt's been topping almost every one that he's gone to. Like, the guy is insanely good. He plays Anjay in Premium and OTT in Standard. And the top cut was 4 Anjay, 2 OTT Gize, 1 Ichitam, and 1 Grand Blue for this. So, OTT Gize, despite being lauded as one of the most degenerate and cancerous decks in the format, is still yet to actually like do any significant like damage. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think OTT Gize's won maybe 1 or 2 events at the most. It tops, but it doesn't close it out. Something always beats it. And when Shadow Paladin comes out next week, and as well as NLK Assassin, I think OTT Gize is going to see a significant drop in play because people will be hopping aboard the Luard hype. Let's be honest here, North America loves Shadow Paladin. We made Luard top in set 9 format when it was complete and utter shit. It did nothing in Japan, but it did something here, and that was before Belial Owl. So I have no doubt that North America will hop on that Luard bandwagon, and we're going to see Luard just running the show in Premium, and maybe it will keep Ichitam, OTT Gize, and NLK Assassin in check. We'll have to see. The fact that Anji has been able to do as much damage as it has before getting V support too just makes me very scared, because when that Bermuda Triangle booster comes out and BTT gets their new crits, as well as some other potentially splashable cards, although I don't know about that, but basically, when the BT set comes out, and if they get even just a decent amount of support out of it, we might be going back to Tier 0 Bermuda Triangle. We didn't really get to experience much of Tier 0 BT because it was at the tail end of GU format, and we were all like, it's whatever, like, Standard's coming up, Standard's gonna say Vanguard, yet here we are. In any case, though, yeah, as I say down below, like, holy crap, OTT, we're 5 months into this, it's a level of dominance that we haven't seen since pre-Errata Sword Me Sanctuary Guard Dragon. That's how ridiculous the current ODT deck is. And meanwhile, in Japan, Blasters Royal Paladin managed to win something, the rare actual victory for Royal Paladin. And Pale Moon managed to do something, and Tachikaze managed to do something. I'm assuming this guy just didn't brick for many games. And when Tachikaze doesn't brick, it's actually a pretty good deck, but it has a tendency to brick like that of combo decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! So, yeah. In any case, though, that's all for this, admittedly much longer than I thought it was going to be video, but then again, I decided to just finally pop off about Oracle Think Tank and the problem that they are in the form of Standard. That's all for now, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, this is Boostar899, jacking out.